Wait, is it good?
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hey, guys.
That's better.
We are on the Pacific Coast Highway
We think we are. We're not quite sure.
in sunny California.
So you are. This is a special edition Smithy podcast.
I think we'll call it a special edition Sex After Kids podcast.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's do that. We have just recently had our world premiere at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival.
And it was great. We had a sold-out crowd.
Why don't we start with, hi, I'm Brian Goldhar, executive producer of Sex After Kids.
I'm Jeremy Lalonde, the writer, director, and one of the producers. So we had the world premiere last night, and it was a sold-out crowd.
They turned away about 50 people from the lineup, which I think is
it's
a
sad
great
that,
sign.
Yeah, unfortunate people have to be turned away, but kind of awesome that it was that popular. So, and they have at least 2 more screenings. We get the impression they might be adding an additional one, given the popularity of the event. It was great. We had a lovely lady named Carly record the Q&A for us.
She flew all the way from England for this trip and to see our film,
which is amazing. So we hung out with her a bit, and she recorded the Q&A for us last night. So hopefully, if it turned out, we'll post that. I think as long as it's not spoil. Well, if it's spoilery, we'll edit it down.
I don't think we really give away too much in our interview.
No, so we'll just make sure it's not too spoilery, and if it is, we'll put a disclaimer on it.
Yes, spoilers.
So Santa Barbara is a pretty beautiful town. It's the first time either of us have been.
Yeah, I've been to California a number of times, but never to Santa Barbara, and now I just want to keep coming
You
back.
want to buy a house there?
I do. I'm sold.
It reeks of pot.
And not good pot. Like it's really
kind of skunky. But other than that, lovely, very nice. It's a kind of town that they must have a very strict dictatorship on the town council because all the buildings are very uniformed and there's no big neon signs. They have to have, like, the McDonald's has like a wooden sign outside.
Everyone does, and
which is quite
nice hanging sign outside of your store.
Good food.
Amazing. Some terrific restaurants and.
And I mean, the audience was great. We went out after and had some drinks with some people that followed us along. Got to know, and that's what's kind of great about Film Fest is being able to really interact one-on-one with the audience and get a sense of how they felt about the film. And I think a lot of people were, there was a lot of laughter at the screening, which was great because we had a cast and crew screening recently, and those tend to be very warm audiences. People are attached to the project, so they feel the need to laugh.
Support it in any way possible and hope for the best.
Yeah, but last night's screening, we had almost the exact same reaction with a completely
unbiased
audience. So that's completely reaffirming that the film works the way we hoped it would. So
and some special guests that we are both fans of.
We had Michael Imperioli from the...
Imperioli?
If I said it wrong, I'm really sorry.
We are big fans. We are awful with names, but we are big fans.
So he was there at the screening, and I don't know, I didn't get a chance to chat with him after, but if you're listening, let us know that you liked it, or if you hated it, then just keep it to yourself. No need for negativity.
No need for exactly. Why share? Don't share the bad.
Don't share the bad. Just move along.
So we're currently driving along the PCH, heading back to Los Angeles, and to be honest, this view is pretty spectacular.
I don't know, you can't really see it.
Well, you could.
Blown out.
You could probably move it and show it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
So here's the view.
This is the way we do it.
This is the water.
No.
Oh, this is terrible. I went into bushes.
Terrible view.
The view actually got really shitty really quickly. We'll come back to
karma.
This. We'll come back to this. We will get you a proper view in a second. Look at me with a reframe.
Look at you.
Good job.
Nice job.
Did it get better? No. Now we'll hold off for a second.
Yeah, we'll hold off until we have, because we're gonna eventually split off. No. We'll split off and drive along right against the water. Right now we're still on the highway. We haven't figured out yet at which point it solely goes along the water.
Because when we drove in, we came in on Thursday and we got here late, so we drove.
It was dark.
So we drove along the coast in the dark, which isn't the nicest time to drive along the coast, really.
I mean, it's still nice, but you can't see anything.
Some boats have lights.
Yes, boats. Yeah, or the oil rigs.
Yes,
they could be oil rigs.
Either way, lit up, so you can get a sense of the distance. Topanga Canyon, all these this is my first trip to California, so I'm seeing all these very famous,
familiar names.
Yeah. I swear there's like a song or a movie named after every goddamn street in Los Angeles.
That's true.
Or at least exit ramp.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the birth of the industry, so to speak. I mean, it's where everyone was, and so they they write what they know about. They know about the streets here. Oh, parasailing.
No, we're definitely not. Yeah, because there's a beach there, no highway.
Definitely not at that extra road yet, seeing as how if we kept on going, we'd be driving on sand.
There was an exit in Santa Barbara County called Santa Claus Lane.
That was very pretty.
Yeah. Okay, we can kind of get a view now. So that's our direction we're going towards. You don't get to see the mountains though. There's some of that. That's nice. The palm trees and whatnot.
Nice fluffy clouds.
Really nice. Well, you know what it is? I mean, I guess we're just on a higher... Like we're higher up, so the clouds are closer to us, right? I assume.
Are we? Because we're at the water. We're at ocean level.
Well, not right now, but
so
I mean, in
how
general...
are we higher up?
But I mean, in general, isn't California, like,
I don't know,
closer to
ocean level?
I just see the clouds seem really low.
Part of California probably is, but I don't think we're driving at it.
I'm just making shit up. I don't know.
We're not scientists.
No, we make movies.
We're pretty good at it too, because from the audience reaction, we're happy.
We happy boys.
We've had a great time. Been here since Thursday. We saw some terrific films, including fellow Canadian filmmakers Sean Garrity, Jonas Chernick, Emily Hampshire, Vic Sahai in
My Awkward Sexual Adventure,
or according to
if you're in America
here, Unawkward Sexual Adventure. Very smart for alphabetical reasons.
Yeah, I chatted with Jonas, and that's the American title is Unawkward Sexual Adventure because it comes up earlier on Netflix.
That's correct. But congratulations on your submission and screenings at Santa Barbara, and it really is a funny movie, and we both enjoyed it.
It makes a great double feature with Sex After Kids.
Yes. Apparently Canadians are only making movies about sex.
That's
that and young people fucking.
But what was interesting is that so we're in competition at Santa Barbara, and there's 10 films in total in our category, and 4 of them are Canadian. So for a California film festival, props Canada.
Yeah, and they really tend to. Oh look, left 2 lanes, Highway 1. We're about to switch over. Whoop 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 whoop.
Highway 1 is the Pacific Coast Highway. You'd think it would say PCH, but it doesn't.
It does not. Oh, we're not switching over. We're staying where we are. That's what it is.
I don't know how to do a whoop.
Fooled me.
Two. Take it back. Telephone Road. Okay.
So what else? I mean, so we got to see that. We saw an Italian film, Caesar Must Die, which is about a group of prisoners who put on Julius Caesar.
In a prison.
Shakespeare's Caesar in a prison. It was pretty interesting. I mean, because you get it's sort of this tale of watching prisoners being able to relate to it, but also to do something that's positive and creative, and they're happy. They're really excited to be doing this, and they're all into it, and they're rehearsing throughout the prison as it gets closer to the performance.
I mean, it's essentially an adaptation of Julius Caesar, because they do the whole play from front to end, but through the guise of rehearsals leading up to a performance.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a little bit of interstitial stuff with the prisoners kind of bitching at each other that gives kind of a commentary on the play from their point of view, and which was great. And I actually wanted a lot more of that. Like, I wish that it would have been more interesting to me to have a little bit more of that commentary. But it was still a pretty interesting movie. It won at Berlin in like 2005 or 2007.
No, because I think the film was done in 2007, but I don't know when it did win at Berlin a few years ago.
So you might be able to find it somewhere. And I mean, it's still playing in festivals apparently, but Caesar Must Die is the American title.
And then we were also to 2 panels that were
the panels
awesome.
were pretty great.
So the director's panel had
David O. Russell. It had
Tom Hooper.
Tom Hooper. It had, I don't remember his name, Ben, the guy from Beasts of the Southern Wild. It had the directors of Brave and Wreck-It Ralph. And we're missing...
And the documentary, Searching for...
Silverman.
Sugarman.
I'm sorry.
I think Saving Silverman is what you're thinking of.
The Jason Biggs movie?
Yeah.
That's where I went. And that was a great panel. It was really interesting. And especially what I find about the panels is... Because they always start off a bit slow because they go through and they ask a question for each of the directors. And I find the panels start to get more interesting near the end when there's a lot more back and forth. And they get chit-chatting. And it was great. Like the what are we looking at?
1 mile till our one cutoff. So we're finally getting off of the 101.
I was right about the auctioneer.
Yeah, you are. I did doubt. I was a doubting Thomas.
So yeah, it was neat that the moderator was one of the editors of Variety, Peter Berg, I think.
Mm-hmm. Not Peter Berg. He's a director.
No, he's a director. I thought it was just Peter something with a B.
Yeah.
Anyway, he kind of took
if Peter Berg was there. That would have been great.
That would have been great. He took a kind of a pot shot at David O. Russell and his kind of history of violence or just aggression on sets, and David O. Russell firmly put him in his place. It was quite entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And then that was followed by the writers' panel.
The writers' panel was really great. And the writers' panel had Lorraine Johnson, who, if you're a nerd...
I think it's Ryan.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think R-I-A-N.
You're right, it is Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ryan Johnson. It also had... oh, God. We love Ryan Johnson, apparently. It had the writer from Flight, the writer from Perks of Being
a Wallflower. Chabotsky. His last name was Chabotsky.
Stephen Chabotsky.
And that is only, and I know that because I connected in my head to Robin Chabotsky from How I Met Your Mother. I'm addicted to that show. It's great.
She's Canadian.
She is Canadian.
And who there was? So that was 3 of them. Who else was on that panel? My brain's a bit muddy this morning.
We had.
Who else was there? I'm sorry to the people that were there. It's not for lack of loving you.
Or for lack of talent, obviously. But.
No. It was the guy that wrote Life of Pi, David McGee.
Yeah.
And there's one
Life
more.
Life of Pi. It was Flight. It was Wallflower. It was.
It was just 5 people.
There were 5, and the moderator was from IndieWire.
Yeah, and we love IndieWire because they gave us their project of the month.
They did, and week, and day.
And day, so we'll take that.
Well, they gave us the day, which gave us the week of the month.
This is true. They still selected us amongst others for the day.
Correct. Yay!
So yeah, those are great panels. So, and here's the thing: is like when we got the program, it just said writers panel, directors panel.
Yes, we don't know who we're going to see. We just know that we're interested in seeing these. Unfortunately, the producers panel is next week, so we're missing that as we head back to Toronto tomorrow. But yeah, so let's. I mean, the other interesting thing, things that we missed based on screenings that we had to go to, is that they were giving out awards, and so the first awards night, which was when we went to see My Awkward Sexual Adventure, they gave out an award to Ben Affleck, and apparently that was a really great night. Matt Damon came out and presented,
and he had he spoke pretty frankly about his career and had great humility, which is that's awesome to see.
Yeah. And then
I haven't heard anything about the Daniel Day-Lewis one, but I assume.
And Daniel Day-Lewis, unfortunately, was at the exact same time as our screening, so
which didn't hurt our screening.
It didn't hurt our screening because again we turned away 50 people, but
it made them go see Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's right, those bastards. Although I think that their tickets weren't going to work for that.
No, it's a different thing.
But we had other filmmakers that we would have wanted to come to our screening that were going to that instead. And honestly, I mean, it's hard to argue wanting to go see one of the greatest actors ever.
Film festivals are tough. I know even with other ones I've been to, it's just things are always up against one another, and it's just like, oh, I wanted to see that, but it's screening at the same time as my film.
We got very lucky in the way that even though that was going on, the other movies we were up against at our time slot were 3 other documentaries and a foreign film that, and we're, light, a hearty film that is not going to depress you, hopefully.
Well, I mean, the thing...
not based on the subject matter, of course.
Yeah. I think they programmed very smartly in that regard, because they didn't put I think that festival is fairly light on comedies.
Yes.
So, like, if they'd have put us up against Awkward Sexual Adventure, that just would have been bad programming because you're splitting your audience. Where if you put us back to back, or they had a screening
In the same time slot 2 days in a row. They were at the 7:20, and then we were at the 7:20.
Yeah, and then they had another screening after ours, and that's a great thing to do because you've got if you come and you're a fan of comedy, then that's what you're going to do. You don't want to have to make a choice between two. So that was very smart programming on that side. One thing they could do a little bit better, not if I'm going to criticize the festival, is they only seem to sell general admission tickets, and you've got to line up early to try to get like a queue pass or something.
Yep.
So I don't know if I've ever been to a festival before where you couldn't buy an individual a ticket for a specific movie, and I think it's just that was bizarre to me.
But it seems to work. And
a Blockbuster?
There's still a Blockbuster left in the world.
Wow. That blew my mind. It actually had stuff, because sometimes the buildings besides are still there, but it had like stuff on the shelves.
Yeah.
We should go get some used DVDs.
You still have to clear customs.
Yeah. So yeah, and we had a lot of fun. We had we had a little army of people there. It was ourselves. John Nichols, our editor, came, and cast members. We had Zoe Palmer,
Amanda Brugel,
Paul Amos,
Shannon Beckner,
or Shannon Mechner, if you're the people that write the programs up. Santa Barbara.
Well, it's not as bad as being an Academy Award winner.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Instead of a D, there was a T in there. It's awesome.
So it was awesome having them up, and I think they had a blast. The cool story about the girls in particular is that they were living in California about 5 years ago during pilot season. They were living in, they rented this little place, and for Amanda's birthday they came out to Santa Barbara, and they kind of got lost or something, and they were on the beach and throwing stones in, and they made a vow that they would return one day, all kind of in this big movie together or something. And
here they are. We presented an opportunity as putting all three of them in a movie that was in a festival in Santa Barbara.
We are dream makers.
We are makers of dreams.
So that's pretty cool for that to have come to fruition for them. Nice. But overall it was good. We had a good Q&A after, and like I said, hopefully we'll be able to post that for you guys sooner rather than later. But yeah, keep loving the movie. Keep telling people about it.
Keep tweeting. Keep Facebooking.
If depending when we put this up, go to the festival page and like it, or.
And if you don't like it, don't do anything.
Don't just ignore it.
Don't say anything. That
You're probably not listening to this if you didn't like it.
That's also true.
Unless you just want to hate us. Do you do that? Do you ever
watch people because it's like
you can't stand them, but you just can't handle.
You need to get everything you can as
ammo.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't personally do that, but
I don't have enough time.
Mind
to do that.
I mean, depends. I mean, like I've had versions of it.
It's like
just not listening to a podcast.
It's like a version of hate fucking somebody.
I was just going to say, like hate sex is like that. It's like when you just need to bang the crap out of somebody you just loathe.
It's like the trolls on the internet. We don't have enough time to be trolls on the internet.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. We wish we had.
There was a time, and then suddenly you grow up and realize
that shit really doesn't matter.
There's just not enough energy in the world to give that up. Just
don't hate.
Don't hate.
It's not. Yeah, it's not really. If you have that much time and that much energy and passion, put it into something. Create something. Goddammit. That's yours.
Write it down, and then suddenly you'll have your own creative piece.
Yeah, as opposed to
someone else will
trashing others.
Trash.
Yeah, fair enough. That's my advice to you. Use that passion and energy in a positive way, and don't be shitty. That's a good way to end it.
I think it is.
Don't be shitty to people.
Don't be shitty. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Well, Tourette's.
Things you learn about other people. All right, we're gonna go.
All right. We miss you. We love you. Keep watching. We'll be back.